confident.
I've never met a guy besides Nassim Hamid who's got so much self-belief. He believes when he gets in the ring, he is going to win. He is going to knock you out, and that's it. I think he's a superstar, and I think he's going to become a really, really big star in boxing.
As big as Naz?
I think so. I really do.
Calzaghe wanted WBC champion Robin Reed, but Sugar Boy Malinga soured those unification plans. He'll hope Telford's Richie Woodall can win the belt back, and with Dean Francis waiting for his world chance, there's big super middleweight fights out there.
Frank says you're going to be the superstar. He's going to take you to the States and do what he's done with Naz.
Well, that'd be brilliant, yeah, that's exciting. You know, I really look forward to that, yeah. So obviously I'm just looking one step at a time, looking to, you know, have a really impressive performance here in Cardiff.
Adam Smith reporting, and there's the scene in Joe Calzaghe's dressing room now. Nicky Piper, how is he going to be feeling making his first defence on home soil and knowing that 99%, well, 100% of the crowd here are willing him to win?
I think he's been feeling great, I really do. He loves the attention. He's very confident tonight. I don't believe he's in with a guy that's going to really test him. I think we should just sit back and watch the skills Joe Calzaghe has. It's a pleasure to watch somebody like Joe boxing, and I think he's 100% confident. There's no problem, no nerves. You can see that. He's feeling brilliant.
Is there a danger, Barry, that perhaps he'll be on such a high that his concentration might just suffer a little?
Well, there is that chance, and I suppose that's the only chance for Sobot, that he's maybe become a little bit complacent, and that he's overestimated himself and underestimated the Croatian Sobot. But I don't think that's going to happen. And, you know, I mean, the guy's in great condition, and he's proved the doubters wrong. He showed what he's made of, and he really has got a lot of ability and a lot of talent. And
We've heard the comparisons, haven't we, with Naz, for instance. Is that just hype, do you think, Nicky?
No. He's a brilliant fighter. Chris Eubank was on top form, though. There's no doubt. Okay, maybe a little ring rusty. But to do it to Chris Eubank, what he did was so unexpected by most, not by me, I might say. I think it shows what quality he's got.
There were a lot of doubts, weren't there, Barry, about him before this fight. What did he learn and what did we learn about him?
What we learned and what we just seen was he showed that he can punch at the highest level. They said he was a cuffer and he couldn't punch properly. He could take a shot to the chin. He took several of them throughout the fight, and he knocked Chris Eubank down, who has the hardest or the most solid chin in the business. He showed that he could fight at a tremendous pace, non-stop, throughout the fight. He kept the pace up. He wanted to knock Eubank out. He beat him categorically throughout the fight, and he took shots to the chin. And even at the very end here, he took a full-blooded right hook from Eubank, and yet he shook it off and stood in there to the end. He showed us that three important credentials: that he can bang at the highest level, that he has the same effect, that he can box at a tremendous pace, and that he can take a shot himself. Those are the three important things that we needed to know. And if we have a look at his opponent, Sobot, the Croatian, we can see a little bit of work from him here against the former European middleweight champion, Hassim Sharifi. And we don't know an awful lot about him, but we do know that he went the distance against Sharifi, who almost beat Robin Reed last year, and that is obviously a good performance. It's important not to, from Calzaghe's point of view, not to underestimate this guy. This guy will be tough and difficult. He's not in the same league as Calzaghe with class, but as you can see here, he's a tough, durable guy, can take a shot and can dish it out, and will be able to capitalise on any weaknesses that Calzaghe will show. And that, of course, is down to whether or not he's underestimated him and hasn't prepared properly, but we know that he has. So I think you've got to favour Calzaghe heavily in this fight, but you never can write someone off like the Croatian.
He's been fighting, though, hasn't he, at 11-4, 11-5, that sort of way.
Yeah, I think you'll find that naturally walking around at weights, Joe Calzaghe's probably at least a stone heavier than Sobot, who we may be calling Sobot by the end of the night, but he's going to go down so many times. But he's a tough, compact boxer. These East Europeans are very tough men. He's got a tight defence. He's taken a good punch by Sharifi, who can punch. He's southpaw. That may cause Joe Calzaghe problems, being southpaw himself. Won't be too used to too many southpaws. And he may mess Joe around for 4 or 5 rounds. I don't think so. I think it's going to be exciting, explosive while it lasts. But Joe will be out on top.
I think the fact that he's there in front of, he stands in front of Calzaghe likes to get the fight over and done with. He's a very determined guy. He wants to win in spectacular style. His first defence in front of his own people, and you have to think that he's going to be very much the favourite, and you know, keep your eyes on him in the first couple of rounds, because he likes to start fast.
Are we still talking, Nicky, about Calzaghe learning, or is he the finished product?
Oh no, he's always learning. He's a young boxer who's really only been at this level for 1 or 2 fights. He's had very few rounds under his belt, apart from the Eubank fight. They're almost all stoppage apart from one 8-rounder. And he's still very much learning and getting used to the occasion too. This is top billing. This is only the second time he's really done that on a big occasion. And this will all be learning experience before, hopefully, he goes to New York and America and shows the Yanks what he can do too.
Big crowd has built up here in the Cardiff International Arena. They're just getting a little impatient now as they await the returning hero's arrival in the arena, and he'll be coming out very shortly indeed. Our commentators, as ever, of course, are Glenn McCrory and Ian Dark. There they are at ringside. But first of all, let's hear from our MC, Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome viewers on Sky Sports to the Cardiff International Arena for World Championship Boxing, promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the world. Please welcome firstly to the ring, the challenger from Croatia, Branco Sobot.
Well, don't expect Branco Sobot to be fazed at all by the atmosphere that he will encounter here a long way from home, because this is a man who spent 9 months on the front line in Croatia's bloody battle for independence. He saw his friends die, he witnessed the atrocities at first hand. He doesn't really like talking about it very much now. So the business of going into a ring and getting a chance for a world title must seem, well, almost easy to encounter by comparison.
It will, but this is a marvellous opportunity for Sobot to really arrive. It's a tough fight for Sobot. Calzaghe is very, very good, but you can guarantee this man is very determined and wants to win here. It's a brilliant opportunity to really gate crash the super middleweight scene.
He's only fought at super middleweight once before. That is a worry when you're going in with a big puncher like Calzaghe. He weighs a heaviest ever, 11 stone, 12 and a half. He's 26, good enough to fight and last the distance with Hassan Sharifi, as you've been hearing, in a bid for the European middleweight title. So he's strong, he's pretty durable, but is he good enough to cope with the raging talent of Joe Calzaghe? Joe Calzaghe, meanwhile, prepares to leave his dressing room, just waiting for the call. Frank Warren, the promoter, in there as well. On the far side is Joe's father, Enzo. Father and son team, it's worked well.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the arena the WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Joe Calzaghe!
Well, tremendous excitement here. They love their boxing heroes in Wales. And Calzaghe is one of only 9 world champions that has been produced in this part of the world. His victory over Eubank has elevated him to star status, particularly here. Enter the Dragon. And I think this is a really exciting fighter. It wasn't the fact that he beat Chris Eubank to win this title, it was the way he did it. Eubank was very good that night and really wanted to come back with a win. But Calzaghe proved he had the stamina, the talent, the ability to handle the pressure, the chin, the speed, the accuracy and the power. And he looked a very, very good fighter. Having said that, one swallow doesn't make a summer, and he now has to go on to restate his case, and it's a huge night for him, this, coming home to Wales as a world champion.
Yes, it's a big, big night. His first taste of the real headlining, and to do it at home as world champion, it's great for him. He's a likable guy, very confident, but very likable. And I think he's going to enjoy this whole evening. But again, he's got to go in there and he's got to do a professional performance. He's got a tough guy he's got against him, so he's got to go out there and do a very good job. And he hasn't got to be overconfident. He's got to know there's a job to be done, and he's got to go in there and do a businessman-like performance.
Joe Calzaghe following in the line of Welsh world champions like Jim Driscoll and Jimmy Wilde, Percy Jones, Freddie Welsh, the great Howard Winston, what a master craftsman he was, and in the 90s Steve Robinson, Barry Jones, and the now sadly retired Robbie Regan, who was due to have appeared here tonight. Superb atmosphere. They've come here in numbers with their flags and with their fervour, and they fully expect Calzaghe to turn it on. But this tough Croatian just might have one or two other ideas. We shall soon know. Here's the tail of the tape for you for this World Championship fight tonight. Calzaghe is a year younger than the Croatian. He's taller and has a reach advantage. Sobot, or Shobot I should say, a heaviest ever. Calzaghe just a quarter of a pound inside the 12-stone limit. He's comfortable enough at the weight. Calzaghe with more fights, but so far in his career he's still only boxed 66 rounds, and Shobot 99. That's because he doesn't have quite the same punch power, doesn't get the job done so quickly. Look at that for Calzaghe, bottom left, 91% knockout rate. Only 2 people have gone the distance with him. Rules tonight, mandatory 8, no standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule. That might be important. Only the referee can stop it. The bell will not save a fighter in any round. WBO Super Middleweight Championship, which seems to be the exclusive preserve of the British Isles these days.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Organization, who are represented at ringside by their president, Francisco Balcacel of Puerto Rico, and the supervisor, Lord Brooks of Tremolpa. The British Boxing Board of Control represented their General Secretary, Mr. John Morris. The judges at ringside, Mr. Roy Francis of London, Mr. Samuel Vervet of New York, and Mr. Manuel Marichala from Spain. The timekeeper is Mr. Ivor Campbell of Swansea, and the referee in charge of the action, one of Britain's experienced star referees tonight, in charge of his 24th world title contest, Mr. Paul Thomas of Derby. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, across the Sky Network, exclusive on Sky Sports from the fabulous Cardiff International Arena, it's big fight time. Frank Warren for Sports Network proudly presents World Championship Boxing, and a contest of 12 3-minute rounds for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the world. And introducing the boxers. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with white, he comes from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. He weighed in at 11 stone, 12.5 pounds, and has a professional record from 15 contests of 14 wins, 8 wins by way of KO with 1 loss. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Cardiff the challenger for the title, Branco Sobot. across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner from Newbridge in South Wales and wearing the All Black trunks. He has the impressive undefeated record of 23 straight wins, 21 by way of the big KO. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 3/4 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, he's 3 times ABA champion, the former undefeated British super middleweight champion, and the current WBO super middleweight champion of the world, making the first defense of his title this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Wales' own Joe Calzaghe. The referee, Mr. Paul Thomas, will now give instructions to both boxers.
Calzaghe, as ever, super confident. He says he'll win this inside 3 rounds.
You know what I expect of you. Give me a good, clean contest. Remember to defend yourself at all times unless you hear me shout stop boxing. Very important, that one. Best of luck to both.
Paul Thomas from Derby, the referee.
The WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World.
Could this man upset the script? The bookmakers say Joe Calzaghe is 12-1 on to retain his championship here. Remember how he floored Chris Eubank with almost the first punch he threw on the night he won the title. Now, can Sobot, who's really a blown-up middleweight, cope with Calzaghe's power punching? Calzaghe digging in some heavy-looking left-hand punches to the body and mixing in a right hand for good measure and dictating things straight away. And he says, unless Sobot is a robot, he won't be able to take my shots.
Well, he was hitting Sobot with strong punches inside there, looking to unsettle the Croatian right from the start.
Hard right hand to the body. Sobot has been speaking good English this week, says he has a lot of respect for Calzaghe, but he knows this is a huge opportunity for him, a surprise opportunity after the American Tarek Salmaki pulled out of his scheduled fight with Calzaghe. Sobot from Zagreb, but based as a fighter in Germany.
Sobot trying to get his hands up, keep a high guard, but Calzaghe is getting through with hard and choppy punches.
2 southpaws together in there, that can sometimes legislate against fluent action, but not always. Calzaghe looking sharp. Looking very, very fiery and determined, Calzaghe. There were a few doubters about him, but he silenced them all that night against Eubank.
Well, the good thing about Calzaghe, as well as having power in his hands, his hands are very fast. He's a quick puncher.
Sobot looking so much smaller and with a lot of problems, you feel, strategically and physically in there.
Calzaghe working well with the left hand. A hard punch turns that into a hook.
Well, in those 15 pro fights, Sobot has never been stopped. Will Calzaghe be the first to do that? Most tipsters think the answer is yes. Great first round that by Calzaghe. Welcome back to the Cardiff International Arena. Big crowd, big atmosphere. This is the Joe Calzaghe corner, and Dad Enzo doing the talking to son Joe.
And Calzaghe trying to work well to the body, getting some good punches round the elbows, hurtful blows.
Second round, Calzaghe with the glitter on his black trunks. The 25-year-old Welshman, unbeaten in 23 contests and 21 of them won inside schedule. In fact, he's won 9 times inside the first 2 rounds. But the first thing that struck me about Sobot in that opening round was how strong and durable he looked. But Calzaghe, if he carries on like this, you feel is going to wear him down. He's looking fast and accurate and on form, Calzaghe, at the moment anyway.
Yes, he's already in his rhythm, looks very, very fast, getting his punches off well. But you're right, Ian, Sobot does look tough, does look durable. He is trying to work away inside and get his punches off.
Well, I think Sobot will be looking to just ride the storm and then somehow find a foothold in the contest. Good body punching from Calzaghe.
Calzaghe mixing his punches up very well inside.
Good right hand there from the Croatian then, and again Calzaghe says he's watched the video of his win against Chris Eubank countless times, and every time he watches it he sees himself making more mistakes, and he's been working, he says, to try to correct them. One of the things he felt against Eubank was that he neglected his jab.
Yes, I think that shows the type of character he is. He wants to get everything perfect.
He's something of a perfectionist, Calzaghe. Oh, those are big-looking left hands, left crosses, as you'd call them, coming from him as a southpaw.
A little bit of work with the head and a beautiful right hook from Sobot.
Good right hand there from Sobot.
That's 2 solid right hooks Sobot has landed in this round.
Looking a gritty character, the former frontline Croatian soldier. A man who risked his life to give Croatia its cherished independence.
Calzaghe just electing to use the jab, look for his shots, and a good left hand scored.
Welcome back, 2 rounds gone. Joe Calzaghe has a prediction here about how far this fight might go, and the next round could be crucial if he's right.
I believe I'm going to knock him out. Simple as I made a prediction that I'm going to knock him out in 3 rounds, and I'm sure I'm going to do it.
Let's see if he's right. Sobot looks a bit of a hard nut though, doesn't he? Calzaghe with the glitter on his trunks, remember, on the left of the picture if you're still not familiar with him, from Newbridge, about 16 miles from here. Sobot just might see it, Glenn, as something of a psychological barrier overcome if he does defy Calzaghe's prediction.
Well, I'm sure he hasn't worried about that prediction too much. He's really just got to think about what he's going to do. And it looks as if he's coming here with a game plan. He looks as if he knows what he's doing in there. He looks quite good and quite durable.
So there are signs that Calzaghe may have to work for it. Oh, great left hand. It was a kind of uppercut shot from Calzaghe. Sobot down, He's only down for about 2 or 3 seconds. His pride got him back up there, but it's a mandatory 8. Terrific shot, and I think he's got some facial damage as well. Sobot, is Calzaghe close here to making the prediction come true? Sobot is in trouble. Another chopping left hand catches him. He's having to get those gloves up. Calzaghe is looking here to clinically pick him apart. He wants that finish here, and he might get it too, and it's stopped. It is over, and Calzaghe was right, and he's retained his title in emphatic style, and the Croatian is stopped for the first time. The Welsh crowd have what they want, the fire from their young dragon of a fighter.
Well, that was very, very impressive. A wonderful finish from Joe Calzaghe, all starting with the uppercut, which was a wonderful punch he pulled out. And Sobot didn't look as if he'd been hurt before that, but that was a very good punch. Put Sobot down and hurt him. And then Calzaghe just went about the finish. He really wanted that man out of there in the time he'd stated. And it was as good a finish as you can see.
And after that, what was impressive was the way that Calzaghe sensed that he had his man on the run and his ability to finish the argument.
Yes, I think it's very good of a fighter who can get their chance and seize that chance straight away the way he did there. He knew that Sobot was hurt. He knew that was his time to then take over and take the man out of there. And he did it in great fashion, but it was a wonderful first punch that started all. What a beautiful left uppercut. He really picked this one out, didn't show it, and then just whipped it around, almost like a bolo punch, just brought it up, and that really rocked him back on the seat of his pants, and that was so hurtful.
That really was a peach of a punch. Calzaghe again underlining the very good impression he made in the Eubank fight here.
Yes, he's throwing lots of punches here, really going for it, but look at the accuracy, look at the way he's picking his punches as he does that. You know, he's not just throwing arms and just throwing wildly. He was really picking his punches. Very intelligent finish there, looking for the shots, switching the head and body, whipped that one round the right-hand side of his body.
Well-timed stoppage by the referee, did you think?
I thought it was. I thought it was a good time stoppage. He'd been badly hurt. He was under big pressure there. And with a puncher like Calzaghe, you can't allow him to have 2 or 3 punches when the man is just about out. He stopped it at the right time. He was certainly hurt, getting through with good shots. He was bravely trying to get his hands up and carry on in there. But Calzaghe just proving far too good.
He picked these punches very well too. He didn't get too frenzied with it. He's enhanced his reputation, Joe Calzaghe here. Exciting prospect. More than a prospect now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute 35 seconds of round 3, the referee stops the contest in favour of the WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Joe Calzaghe! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you want to give a big round of applause. Very good final lead, Branco Sobot.
Well, he said it would be 3 rounds, and he was quite right. And Branco Sobot must be wondering just what hit him here in Cardiff this evening. And the answer is a rampant Joe Calzaghe. Nicky Piper, it was spectacular.
It was a brilliant performance. That guy was exactly what we said he would be. Very awkward. He was compact, he was tight, he took a good punch. He came back with some good counters of his own, but Joe Calzaghe eventually, in the round he predicted 3 rounds, worked him out and found the uppercut which started with the downfall of Sobot. And what I like about Joe Calzaghe, he's a great finisher. He had his man on the ropes, he sank some great body punches in, lowered the his opponent's hands, and then started pouncing some great uppercuts and straight shots through to the head again. And Paul Thomas was quite right to step in. The guy wasn't really badly hurt, but I think he would have been if Paul Thomas hadn't have stepped in there and then.
Well, what a reception he got coming into the ring, and what a reception he got leaving it as well. Joe Calzaghe, still the WBO super middleweight champion, stopping Branco Sobot in the third round, and you can see just getting into position now, still the world champion, and he's ready to speak with Ian Dark.
Well, you said you were going to do it inside 3 rounds, and the prediction came true. Some performance, eh?
Yeah, I was quite pleased with my performance. You know, I said 3 rounds for the... I'd like to thank all the supporters that come down here tonight. They've been absolutely brilliant. And I promised them the 3rd round, and I delivered the goods in the 3rd.
That was quite a left uppercut that started all the trouble for Sobot there in round 3.
To be honest, the first couple of rounds I was just taking my time. I've been sort of in the gym, I've been trying just to slow down just a little bit, to pick my punches, and that's what I did in the 1st and 2nd. And the 3rd round I just stepped up to full gear, and you had no answer for it.
You were taking your time in that 1st round. You could have fooled me, because you really went to work very, very quickly on him, didn't you?
Yeah, but if you compare it with Chris Eubank, I probably threw a lot less punches, but I'm well pleased. He was a good opponent. Although he was a late replacement, but he was a strong fighter. Only 1 defeat. He come to win.
Yes, he'd never been stopped, and he looked the sort of strong, resilient, durable type who might last longer than that.
Yeah, well, I caught him some excellent shots in the first 2 rounds, and to his credit, he took them well. But there was no way anybody was going to get up from that left uppercut and landed on his chin. No way.
Nicky Piper, another Welsh fighter of some renown, has just described your performance as brilliant.
Well, thanks, Nicky. It's great. Yeah, it's brilliant. You know, I'm just going to get better and better as time goes on. I said I'm the best super middleweight in the world, and this year, hopefully, with Frank, we'll go to America and beat out. I think I can knock out the best American out there. I honestly think I can.
Let's just bring in Frank Warren here. Now, Frank, you have been talking about taking Joe to the United States. Is that just talk, or might we see that happen pretty soon?
No, we've had an offer to go to the States, but obviously the turnout tonight has been fantastic, and he's going to come back down in Wales, to Wales, his home country, and he's going to fight here again because the people demand it. But there will be one fight in the States very soon. It looks like it's going to happen, and it may be Charles Brewer.
Charles Brewer, the IBF champion, so that would give Joe a 2nd belt.
That's right, that's what we're looking at, and I've been speaking to his manager, and it looks like we've got a deal nearly done.
Could that be a sort of Madison Square Garden appearance at the Mecca, maybe?
It could be a big fight out there. As I say, we're working on it at the moment, but as I say, tonight has been fantastic. The turnout here has been great, and you know, this is the place for him to box. But we will do a couple of fights in the States, but we're not going to leave here.
Do you want a 2nd bout? Is that what you're looking for? I mean, unification plans, is that in your itinerary?
Definitely. I want to be the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, without a doubt. And I'm convinced I can go to light heavy and knock all them out as well. That's how confident I am. I'd just like to say again, thanks for everyone that turned out. They've been absolutely brilliant.
It really does seem as if they've taken you to their hearts, doesn't it, here in Wales? I mean, the reception's been fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm Welsh, obviously. They're going to come out and see me fight, you know, I'm world champion, you know what I mean? Of course. Yeah.
You're a very relaxed character as well. Did you spend last night at home with the family before the fight? I mean, most fighters had locked themselves away in a hotel. What did you do?
Yeah, just stayed at home, relaxed, chilled out. That's what I've done today, chilled out. Like I said, I knew I was going to knock him out in 3 rounds, and I did. I know.
The baby didn't wake you up quite clearly from that performance.
No, no, he's all right.
For feeding tonight.
Very well done. I think you've given the fans what they wanted. Well done, Joe Calzaghe. Still world champ.
Fabulous stuff. A great night for Wales, and it could get even better. Next in the ring, a young prospect from the same gym as Calzaghe, Paul Samuels, and in a moment or two we'll also be looking back at Joe Calzaghe's triumphant homecoming. We brought you a lot of international cricket over the last few months. Now it's time to head to the Caribbean for England's tour of the West Indies. Atherton's men confident they can beat the West Indies in their own backyard. And the only place you'll see live ball-by-ball coverage here on Sky Sports. The first test starts Thursday at 2 on Sky Sports 2. But coming up right now, or in a moment or two, Paul Samuels from the same gym, remember, as Joe Calzaghe against Cassie Kai Hao. It's live and exclusive here on Sky Sports 1. the noise is just about subsiding here at the Cardiff International Arena after Joe Calzaghe's destruction of Branco Sobot in his first world title defence, watched admiringly, I think, by Nicky Piper and Barry McGuigan, who are with me now. Barry, we've heard Nicky Piper's view. He's a Welshman, so he could be accused of bias. As an Irishman, how impressed were you?
Well, totally impartial view here. I mean, and I happen to agree with Nicky. He's improving this guy tremendously well. He took a look at the guy for the first 2 rounds. He moved around and outboxed him, and then he just placed his shots perfectly. And what I like about, but just to reiterate what Nicky says, what I like about Calzaghe is when he gets a guy going. Now we know, I looked at the clock quickly when he had him on the deck. 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the round. There was no way he was going to survive. But what I liked about him was the way he set that punch up. He moved around. The fact that Sobot was a southpaw, shorter and more, and very, very much a compact and peekaboo style. He found it difficult to nail him with the left hand over the top. So what he did, he set him, he showed him the left over the top, and then he pulled in that uppercut. And if you can see it here, it was absolutely marvellous. He really just pulled it in beautifully. He set him up with a beautiful jab here. He watched him go down and then whipped it up, bang! And he went down like a ton of bricks there. And I was surprised that he got up so sharpishly. And you can see it again here. What's the way he turns his head round? I mean, when you hit a guy that hard, you can see he hit him on the bridge of the nose and lifted. It's the most horrible place to get hit. And yet he was able to get up again. He's a tough, durable guy, Nicky.
He was very tough. He was compact, as Barry said, very short and neat, and a southpaw with a high guard. And very hard to pierce, but Joe Calzaghe seems to know the exact punch to throw to pierce somebody's defence. Without thinking, it comes naturally. And that punch was so short, so compact, and well disguised. And here's the finish of Barry says.
What was so impressive about this was the body shot. I liked the way he whipped it in both to the body shots until he lifted his hands, brought his elbow down to expose his chin again, and he whipped them over the top again. And although these punches look like they're flailing, they've all got purpose. You know, again, whacking the body shot in, and he landed a clean head shot almost immediately. And you know, this guy is a class fighter. And all these sort of cuffing punches that look like they're not really harmful, they are really hurtful shots. He's really heavy-handed, and look at how quick that shot landed again. Now, he may have said in a world title fight they could have allowed him to go a little bit longer, but he was on a road, and he was going to get a hiding to nothing. He was going to get a hammer
through the round, will we?
There's no way he was going to make it to the end.
He has the makings of a massive star, doesn't he? He looks good, he likes the limelight, he's slightly flashy, and he has so much ability too.
Well, that's it. He's a great-looking kid. He's young. He's delivering the goods in the ring, and this kid really can go all the way. America, the world is at his feet, really. And I think Wales, it really shocked me tonight. I didn't expect such a great reception of Joe Calzaghe. He's been a bit brash. He's been criticised for being big-headed, without smiling and with tongue-in-cheek, which Naz does. And I really expected a rather nice reception. Nothing like tonight. It was unbelievable. It seems that Wales is excited over this young boy. They know that at last they've got a guy that is not going to be just a world champion. He's going to be one of the very best.
Well, a night of glory for Joe Calzaghe. Should have been something very similar this evening in Cardiff for Robbie Regan, but sadly it wasn't to be. Regan was here and he was in the ring, not to defend his world bantamweight crown, unfortunately, but to make an almost inevitable announcement to the crowd.
What I'm saying is, you see me have my last fight. And if you were just a little bit as proud of me as I am of all of you, I'll retire an happy man, and thank you very much.
Robbie Regan, whose world was shattered this week when he failed a brain scan. Inside here. Afterwards, though, Regan spoke with Adam Smith.
I think that was the hardest fight of my life, you know. It was a very hard thing to do, it was a very emotional thing to do. At the end of the day, you know, I got two young kids, and, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they fit, they're healthy, and every time I look at him, I'll always be a world champion. And, you know, they got to come first, and that was the hardest thing to do in my life.
Just to say no more?
Just to say no more. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like I say, I had a lot of support, a lot of people who's here, a lot of people who haven't come here because I'm not on the belt, you know, but I know they're all looking on Sky and watching, and I know who they are, and they mean so much to me, and if I couldn't go in and give 100%, I'm not going in there at all.
There are two ways of looking at it, I suppose, in some senses, Barry. It's desperately sad, but on the other hand, it's great that he's got out in one piece.
Well, what it shows is, and very importantly, that the British Boxing Board of Control rules and new MRI scans are working. That's the most important thing. The tragedy is that this young guy, his career is over, and it's the most unfortunate kid in the world. It really is. I'm terribly sorry for him, and I really hope that he can go on and do something in his life that can keep him happy.
He did get a reception here that he'll never forget, will he?
He's always been a favourite with the Welsh crowds. He really has, one of the best sportsmen over the last few years, and he has been desperately unlucky.
Yeah.